Sing Spade, what's going on, man?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, perfect.
Look at you, man. You got like the cut off top and everything, you're like not afraid to share the navel. That is bravery, man, because I would not be wearing a shirt like that.
You should try it. It's liberating. I'm telling you. It's a
Yeah, it
game.
is when you look like you do, not when you look like I do. My waist is the same as my age, man. You can't have a waistline like your age. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless you're in your 20s or your 30s, then it's okay.
I'll give it a try. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later.
Hold on one second. You know what? I got my wife begging me for my wallet. Ain't that typical? There you go, babe. Take it. Take all my money. I never see any of my money anyway. So there we go. But oh man, Sam, thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate this. And Pavement Records, love those guys. So anytime Barb reaches out to me and has someone to share with me, I'm like, all right, let's do it, because I know it's going to be cool. And yeah. So everybody, I am here with Sam Spade from the Midnight Devils, and they got a brand new album just came out not too long ago called Never Beg for It. I'm always begging for it. But
See, never beg for it. That's the key. Chips Enough told us that there was the one off. We were talking about this and that, girls, all this, and he's like, bro, never beg for it. I go, that's the name of the album right there. Never beg.
Really? That's how it happened. Chips Enough. He named your album.
Inadvertently, yes, he did. He had no idea. We were just talking one day. He's smoking this joint that's like seven papers long, leans to the left. Bro, the key is to never beg for it. And I go, that's it. That's the name of the album.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? Well, dude, that was killer. I got to tell you, man. And I love you guys, and I love your music. I myself am a child of the 80s. And for all you folks out there in Rock Titan land that don't know glam rock, don't know hair metal and all that goodness, man, I feel bad for you. Just go back and check it out, because it's some of the greatest music that has ever been produced. And Sam, I got to tell you, as soon as I saw some of your videos and I was listening to your music, one of the things immediately sprung to my mind, and I don't like drawing comparisons because it's not always fair, but at the same time, I think it's going to be flattering at the same time, because I've had Steel Panther on the show on the Rock Titan podcast a number of times, Mike Starr and all those guys, and I love them to death. And you guys really reminded me of them in a big way. Have you ever crossed paths with Steel Panther, just out of curiosity?
Never have, but we get that a lot. And I was with you on Steel Panther. That first album came out. I'm like, this is incredible. And you kind of took it for what it was, like they're playing this joke. It's all comedy. And then we did a show with them in Oklahoma, at Rocklahoma. And okay. I'm like, how good is it gonna be? And they get up there, and there's 20,000 chicks screaming their head off, taking their tits out. I'm like, okay, these guys are the cool. These guys are the real deal. This is awesome. Having a blast. I absolutely love this band. And you kind of know what it is, but that's exactly from what they're doing. I see, and I get a lot of inspiration from what they're doing, because it is a party. It is fun. It's all positive. It's all, this push to have a good time, and nothing but that. And I love that about Steel Panther. They make it look good. They make it sound good, and they make it their own. It's very unique and creative and funny. That's the thing, is that that we don't take ourselves so seriously to where this isn't fun anymore. This is supposed to be fun. This is rock and roll. It's supposed to be wild, out of control, off the top. And that's what it is. And I think Steel Panther is the best at doing that.
Nowadays, I can't disagree with you, man, because when it comes to Satchel and Star and those guys, I mean, like I said, I love those guys. Sticks it in you. Come on, man. I mean, that's great. That's amazing. But so you are the bass player and the lead singer for the Midnight Devils.
Yes, absolutely. I get to do double duty, I guess if you say it. Double the fun, double the pleasure. Bass player, lead singer, not like Geddy Lee, but not like Geddy Lee. More of I get to sing the songs, and I have a bass wrapped around my neck that I get to swing around.
Yeah, right on. Now, the fact that you guys are in the genre of music that you are, just curious because I've covered so many bands. Aside from some of the newer ones like Steel Panther, and when I say newer, like they've been around for like 15 years and whatnot, but they didn't originate in the heyday of when the genre was born. Now that being said, I have spoken and hung out with guys like that, like Stephen Piercy from Rat and those guys. Is there anyone in particular that you kind of drew your inspiration from? Is there anyone that you looked up to as a role model from that era that you kind of, modeled yourself after?
Yeah, when it started, it was a number of guys. So when it started for me, it was Ace Frehley from Kiss. Then it was Paul Stanley from Kiss and David Lee Roth, like these frontmen that are just larger than life that seem to be just party. They're party on high heels, walking around. That's what they do. They exude, this atmosphere of, man, we're in for a good one. And that, as a lead singer, I think really struck me the most is how those guys could control an audience and bring an audience just to an absolute boil. They're just foaming at the mouth, ready to tear the place apart, but all in a good time. As a bass player, I was drawn to guys like Rachel Bolan from Skid Row, these really strong songwriting bass players. They wrote the songs. Who was the other one? Duff McKagan from
Oh my
Guns
God,
N'
of
Roses.
course. Yeah, right on, man.
Like young Nikki Sixx, all these guys Pete Way from UFO, these Thunderbird playing bass players that were really the cornerstones of their bands.
Yeah, now I know you guys have done your share of touring throughout the states, and you guys have shared the stage with some pretty big names. But again, and this is something that I talk about with so many, rock and roll musicians, heavy metal at large. There is such a disparity, and I don't think anyone watching right now can really disagree with this. So everybody, please, I mean, if you have an issue with what Scotty J is saying on the Rock Titan podcast right now, please share your comments by all means, because I will reply to every single thing you say. That's how I roll. But where I'm going with this, Sam, is Europe. Dude,
Yes,
it's such a
the band.
different world when it comes to your style of music, rock and roll, heavy metal. It's like they're in, it's not fair to say they're in the past. They have such a passion for rock and roll and heavy metal, maybe more so than
Yeah,
anywhere in the States. It's like you come over here, right? Okay. You play a club, you're playing to a few hundred, maybe 1,000 fans, and everyone's rocking out. You go over there, man, as hard as it might be to pack a stadium over there, you are packing a stadium. You guys, the Midnight Devils, you guys are absolutely filling a stadium in Europe. Have you ever been there?
you just gave me goosebumps just saying that because
Dude,
as we're talking, we are putting together a European tour with Enuff Z'Nuff for November. It's like late October into November. We're going to be doing Italy, the UK, Spain, all these places, all these places that I've dreamed of playing. I think as a kid, I'm sitting here today. I just got home from a tour and I came home to my parents' house. So I'm sitting in my hometown in my parents' house where I used to do rehearsals when I was 16, 17, 18 with my band in the basement. But as a kid, that was your dream, is you join a rock band to meet girls, to get out of your city, and to not have a real job. Well, now here it is. We're on the verge of actually making that kind of dream come true. I haven't been out of the country yet. We've toured the country about 5 or 6 times, coast to coast, up,
right.
down, north, but we haven't made it out of the country. And this is our first time together, and it's almost above my what I can comprehend. Of we're talking to guys in England, in Ireland, in Italy that are going to be helping us out on the road. And we're not only doing that, but we're going with rock legends. Enuff Z'Nuff. It's huge and it's perfect.
Get ready for your head to explode. Because I know what you're in for. I know what you're in for because I got so many buddies, that over here, there's a little bit of frustration, even though they have a great fan base, without a doubt. It's just so different when you go over there. The passion and the adoration and the love, it's just different, man. Now I've
Here's
never
my
been.
here's my question for you. Do you think it's because that rock and roll, our style of rock and roll, originated here in the States? So we maybe take it for granted, where people in Europe, they still love it and they still are into glam rock and all death metal and all this stuff. Where in the States, it's kind of swept under the rug, I guess. It's these niche little factions. Do you think it's because of that?
Maybe partially, Sam. I think some of it's just flat out cultural. I just think it's a cultural thing. They're just more metal, man. They
Yeah,
just are. I can't explain it. I mean, I think there's a huge disparity maybe between the inundation of social media over here, entertainment at large, the 24/7 news cycle. I think a lot of it is just, ingrained virtues, values, things of that nature. The fact that, this country in the United States is getting so woke and politically correct about crap.
right.
Yeah, I said it, and I'm not going to apologize for it because it's absolutely true.
It is.
And I think a lot of the fan base over there, they are they're the rebels. They're the ones throwing the middle finger in the
Yeah.
air, truly saying, "No, man, we're not giving in all that political correctness and wokeness and all that crap. We're not all about it." And so I think that that does figure in it. Now, that being said, it's still great over here. Now, the other thing is, I don't know how far reaching the arms of people like, Live Nation are, right?
Sure.
Because I think as an independent band, especially, you have the opportunity to do a lot more as an independent band in Europe versus over here. Like, I don't know, I'm totally ignorant to this. I could be completely wrong, but I just don't know how much of an ownership over the venues a lot of the
Sure.
big United States based businesses, like, I mean, let's face it, Live Nation's a freaking, they're the alpha and omega, right? I mean, they're a what do they
I mean,
call it? I mean, they own everything. You know,
as an observer and a guy that's kind of in the middle of it, we had done, those big festivals. We had done Rocklahoma, the Rocklahoma Music Festival. It's 3 days, 50,000 people in the middle of a field in Oklahoma. The
right?
first, it was still kind of privately ran, and it was wild. Sodom and Gomorrah. It was anything that you wanted, anything you wanted to see was going on. It was happening. Everybody was having a blast. It was just mayhem for 3 days. And then Live Nation kind of came in and took over. Or I don't know if it was Live Nation, but one of the big
Well,
corporations.
they're associated with them, but I know where you're going with this, Sam. So, like, Danny Wimmer presents. I know they run the Rocklahoma and a lot of those other festivals, and I love Danny Wimmer. Anything Danny Wimmer presents, they put on the best shows in the country. They absolutely do. They have the best lineups. I think it's an awesome stepping stone for so many bands. It's like, if you're willing to pay your dues, and make your bones, and you can get out there. I mean, it's like you can be a relatively unknown one day and huge the next. Some friends of mine in a band called Dead, DED. I mean,
I just talked to him a couple weeks ago.
there you go, Joe Catella. Hey man, love you, brother. All those
He went,
guys. They started out. I mean, they really, they got their start on the Danny Wimmer Presents tours. They've been doing it for years. I mean, those guys were road dogs. And I was with them when they were releasing their debut album. And now they're like virtually a household name. They've
yeah,
earned it. But you gotta be out in front of them. And I think, the entities like Danny Wimmer Presents, they provide that. And it's just, for me, it's just kind of sad that at the end of the day, you got, a Live Nation just absolutely raping and pillaging everyone of that's why concert tickets cost so much. That's
you
why the
could
concessions cost so much.
tell the shift
You
from one
know?
rock to another once the corporation took over.
Oh, dude, it's brutal. I don't want to beat that to death, though, Sam. I don't want to beat that to death. I want to talk all about the Midnight Devils. And it's funny because I was checking out Working for the Weekend, man. I was checking out your official music video for that. And one of the things that first hit me, man, I'm like, oh my God, like, what's the take on this going to be? Because one of my favorite, like, videos based on that song and you're younger than me without a doubt. I can already tell, because I was already joking about, the fact that you're so brave about having that cut off t-shirt. But there was this video on Saturday Night Live, like way back in the day when Chris Farley was still on and Patrick Swayze was still in his prime. And I love Patrick Swayze. I just saw a horrible thing that someone's talking about redoing Roadhouse with
Oh, don't do it.
oh man, dude, that's like sacrilege, man. I don't even want to think about it. But Patrick Swayze, and he was a Chippendale, and Chris, Chris Farley was a Chippendale, and they're like stripping and they're dancing, for oh my god, working for the weekend, and it was, dude, it was freaking hilarious, and I love your video. It was great. I mean, equally, it was such a great take on that. Um, what made you guys want to do that song?
Well, okay, so the idea had came about that we would kind of turn Chris Farley. We would kind of do a spoof on that Chris
Oh,
Farley with the
okay.
chip. We just wanted it for a T-shirt design. So I had an artist draw up Chris Farley in a pink thing, but he was a devil, so he was a midnight devil.
Oh my
And then
god,
we got the 10 songs ready for the record.
that's
We're sitting in
hilarious.
the house, velvet couches, velvet lined couches, more weed than you've ever seen. I'm telling you, like sitting at Chip's house, you're just like, it's just rock and roll. The walls are pink. There's peace signs everywhere. And he goes, "All right, bro, these songs are great, but the record label, they need a cover for the first single. What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. We hadn't prepared anything, Chip. We were doing these 10 songs, and that's all we had prepared."
Right.
He's like, "All right, come back tomorrow, have a cover ready to go for the record." And we're like, "What are we gonna do for this record? It's gonna be on forever. It's eternity." And so we're driving around Chicago, flipping through the radio station, just going, "Man, we have no idea what to do." We stopped to get a hot dog, the world famous Chicago hot dogs, and Working
Yeah.
for the Weekend kicks on. Da, 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 da. I'm like, that's the song. It's perfect. It's perfect. That, right? And it just happened to come on the radio. It was a sign from above that we needed to do this song. We brought it into Chip. He goes, "I love it, bro. Let's lay it down right now." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so then I happen to have a cousin. My cousin is actually the Pink Bastard, which is the devil in the video, and he's kind of an actor and he would dress up as Hellboy. And I go, "Well, this isn't too far off, but would you like to be kind of our Eddie, like our mascot? We're
Oh
just
shit.
gonna paint you, and if you can be at the show, we're gonna have you make an appearance at all these shows and just watch, and people's jaws are gonna hit the ground. Who is this fat guy dressed pink? He looks awesome. He's throwing dollar bills." And so it all worked out to where this idea came about, and it all fits together so well. And then having that Working for the Weekend, like I studied that video, the Patrick Swayze Chris Farley video. I'm like, okay, we can totally do this. We can just do kind of like a little rip, and just because guys like you and guys like me will get the joke. And so it was all just a big joke. It's all funny to us. So that's really how it came about. The video was so much fun to shoot. Like getting him painted up. I'd actually forgotten the cufflinks, right? So I forgot the cufflinks at home. Freaking out. We're shooting this video. He's pink already. He's waiting for his shot, and I have to run to the sex store in Nebraska. And I'm on all the sex stores, like, "Yeah, do you guys have Chippendales outfits, cufflinks?" And then no, nobody had one. Finally, I found one lone sex shop in Nebraska where I could buy these cufflinks, and we could finish the rest of the video. So it was all hilarious. It was all just so much fun to do, and so much fun to see the idea come about. I was laughing writing the script of the video.
Sam, when I brought that up, man, about Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze, I had no idea you actually based anything off of that, man. I am blown away that you actually knew about that. Oh my god, that is so freaking funny. Oh
Oh,
god. In the description of this podcast that I put out with you, Sam, I'm gonna have to put out like your official music video for it, but I think I gotta put out like the old Saturday Night Live snippet just
yeah.
so people can fully appreciate this because I did not think that you actually knew about that. That is so freaking funny, man. Oh my god.
In the middle of the video,
Oh my
and it was
god.
so cracking up while we were doing it. So everybody behind laughing so hard. It was so hard to keep a straight face while doing it.
Oh man, never beg for it, people. Never beg for it. The newest album from the Midnight Devils is out right now. Just came out this past month. So I know we got to wrap things up here, Sam. But so as far as what we can look forward to, you're going to be supporting this album, obviously, as you continue throughout, the touring season. That's the rest of the summer, and hopefully throughout the healthy 2022, and the monkeypox doesn't force everybody indoors like COVID did and all that crap. You got any more entertaining official music videos that are going to be coming out in support of the songs that you have on,
Yeah,
the album?
absolutely. Things have been going so well. I have to tell you, like, this being on Pavement Entertainment, the first time that I, as a musician, have ever been signed to a label. So like things are happening, dreams are coming true.
Right on.
We're just kind of taking this on the side. The first single we released was a song called Highway 69. It was the digital single, the like the teaser. Well, Highway 69 has gotten like 20,000 streams. Like we have some heat, some action going on a single that we actually wrote. So I really think that coming around, we're going to be doing a video for Highway 69. We got a vinyl release for Highway 69 and working for the weekend, like a really cool 12-inch etched vinyl. I've never had my music on vinyl, so this is like another one. Mark it off the list. That one's
Nice. See, I'll get the vinyl, man. I got to build a
gonna be
vinyl
cool. It's like
collection. I
limited
love that
300 copies.
you're doing
Then
that,
we
man.
had,
Yeah, I love that you're doing vinyl,
then
man.
we
I
head
think
out
that's so cool.
to at the end of September. We head to LA. We do the Whiskey Go Go. Yeah, I just thought, like, why not? Why wait? Let's do vinyl. If the band implodes tomorrow, we'll be like, well, we played the Whiskey Go Go. Well, we got vinyl. What else do you want? Go to Europe. Okay, cool. Once that Go Go with Pretty Boy Floyd, and then in October we start the second leg of the Glam Slam Metal Jam tour, which is us and Enuff Z'Nuff and Pretty Boy Floyd through Texas and Florida. And by that time, I'm hoping to have another video for the single, "The Sound of Domination," which is like the lead off track of that album.
Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, it's killer, man. It's absolutely killer, Sam. I love what you guys are doing. And I just want to wish you all the best in support of your, sophomore album, and hopefully there are many more to come. But again, everybody, I'm Scotty J. You're watching Rock Titan. We're here with Sam Spade from the Midnight Devils. And
Oh,
they got their brand new album. Never beg for it. Never beg for it.
never. You gotta do it like this. Never beg for it, bro.
Never beg for it, bro.
There you go. That's the chips enough.
Like a professional. All right. So, Sam, thanks again, man, for joining me. And everybody, make sure you give us a subscribe, give us a like. We're going to have all the links here to the Midnight Devils. Make sure you go out, check out their videos, show them some love, check out their new album. It's awesome. And thanks again. Thanks again, Sam. It's awesome. Awesome stuff. And I'm Scotty J. You are watching Rock Titan. We're out.